Now that Team Canada's selection camp is done, there's a 22-man roster getting ready to face the world's top junior teams. Beginning on Tuesday, December 26, 2017, are the preliminary games for the 2018 IIHF World Junior Championships in Buffalo, New York, and from now until then, the Canadians have a lot of preparation to do. Over the last week, Hockey Canada held their national junior team SportCheck selection camp in St. Catharines, ONT, which hosted a couple of practices and 3 exhibition games, the last one against Denmark. Playing against guys from different countries around the world isn't what most of the Canadian national junior team is used to. Yes, there's the odd Russian, Czech or Swede among the myriad of CHL team rosters, but CHL teams aren't used to playing against teams comprised totally of international players. Fortunately for the Canadians, they finished the selection camp with a 52 victory over the Danish squad, which is a great win 2 weeks before the real deal. Kyle Clague on top 3 opponents. Team Canada's final roster was announced a couple of days ago, and Kyle Clague is one of the defensemen who made the team. He plays for the WHL's Brandon Wheat Kings and serves as one of their alternate captains. In terms of point production, he's the most offensive defenseman on Team Canada's final roster, based on points during the 201,718 regular season so far. He was also a second-round pick of the 2016 draft, selected by the Los Angeles Kings, and this will be his second year representing Team Canada in the World Junior Championships. Kyle Clague. Action from Game 4 of the 2016 MasterCard Memorial Cup between the London Knights and Brandon Wheat Kings in Red Deer, AB on Monday, May 23, 2016. Photo by Rob Waller. Tortural Images. Earlier this year in August, Clague also participated in the World Junior Summer Showcase in Plymouth, ME, which is the first step in Hockey Canada's player evaluation process. There, the Canadians played against Team USA, Team Sweden, and Team Finland. Obviously all 3 of those teams are awesome, Clague told the hockey writers in a post-practice interview this past week during the selection camp in St. Catharines, Sweden. They move the puck so good and they're so fast and they always know where each other are on the ice, and I think the same goes for Finland. I don't know if it's a European style, but I think they always connect well. December 31, Lukas Jasek 17 of Team Czech Republic and Rasmus Dahlin 8 of Team Sweden battle for the puck, while goaltender Filip Gustavsson 30 defends his net during the 2017 IIHF World Junior Championship preliminary round game at the Bell Centre on December 31, 2016, in Montreal, Quebec, Canada. Photo by Minas Panagiotakis. Getty Images. European teams have created a reputation for themselves over the decades. They play that European style with a lot of flair, and it's a look that many have come to recognize, as well as expect. However, in recent years, Team USA has made a whole lot of changes, not just to their roster but in their development leagues, and that's something the Canadians will need to adjust to and prepare for going forward. The Americans are always good, they have so many good players, Clague continued to say. They're fast, they always are, and they're skilled. I mean, those are the 2 main takeaways for me. I thought their team looked a lot different than it did last December, but, you know, they have a lot of good younger players and they're obviously going to be a great team again this year. Jake Bean on Team USA. There's a lot of buzz about the Americans' superior offensive abilities, and Clague isn't the only one who can attest to their talented top end. After speaking with defenseman Jake Bean, he too acknowledges their strongest skill sets. They're really talented offensively, he said. They have lots of skill up front. They have real high-power defense. They're a pretty good all-around team. Bean was a first-round pick in the 2016 draft, selected by the Carolina Hurricanes, and serves as an alternate captain for the WHL's Calgary Hitmen. This will be his second year representing Canada in the World Juniors, and although he's not the most offensive defenseman on the roster, he understands that the Americans are very offensive and defending well will be a tipping point in Canada's success. Cale Makar on Team USA. Defenseman Cale Makar, on the other hand, has built his reputation on being incredibly offensive. He was the No. 4 pick from the 2017 draft, selected by the Colorado Avalanche, and made Team Canada's final roster. This will be his first year representing Canada, and he's also one of 2 players who play in the NCAA. Just like Clague and Bean, Makar has spoken of the Americans' memorable style of play. Yeah, they're just a very skilled team, he said. I could say that about everybody too, but you just have to be in the right spots at the right time, and if you lose your balance there, they're hopping right by you or throwing that puck through your stick. Like, they just find every little opportunity to make those plays. It's going to be transition, but I'm excited to hope he get a few exhibition games in. Kale Macker of the AJHL's Brooks Bandits had 75 points as a defenseman last season. Photo Emily Duncan and Rose Photography winning gold this year at the World Junior Championships will be no easy job for either the Canadians or the Americans, but at least Team Canada knows that it's not going to be a walk in the park. This past week in St. Catharines was spent preparing for multiple opponents with very different styles of hockey, including tactics that combat the Americans' aggressive form. They're young, fast and skilled on the top end, and their back end is no joke either. If the Canadians are going to have any chance of beating them, they're going to have to be very systematic in their approach to both scoring and defending, because that's exactly what will be thrown at them by all those Kara players on the opposite side of the rink.